Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're gonna look, I thought we could take a look at the 5OT Bruin and kind of the Bruin family, because there is basically, more than a couple of these knives that were made by Old Timer, and they're very interesting, and they're very handy. The Old Timer ones, this is one of the newer ones. Uh, so this is basically a lockback with the saw cut Delrin, which I think looks pretty nice. Says Old Timer on there, and of course you get the 5OT on the back. This is the new manufacturer. This is made in China, and I actually picked this one up at a Tractor Supply, and they're selling for right around $10. I think when I got this, it was 9, or it might have been 8 something. But really, what you're getting is a really great knife. These are the kind of knives that I used for years, were small lockbacks. But this gives you the old timer flair to it. And this one has the new shield, which of course, if you get the older ones, they'll have the old timer ones, and you can get the USA made ones. Now, I couldn't find a definitive start date for when these were first manufactured, so I'm gonna guess that since old timer started in about 1959, and that the Buck 110 came out around 1964, that that puts these guys probably in the late 60s, early 70s. Uh, you know, I think that's when lockback knives kind of became accepted and the new thing, and as safety models, and not actually being so many slip joints out there. Slip joints were always around, but I think lockbacks kind of overshadowed them during that time frame in the 70s and 80s and stuff, beginning there in the 60s, like I said, with the 110. But what you're looking at is a really handy knife. This one here is made of 7CR, but you get a 2.8-inch blade and a 3.7-inch handle, and they weigh less than an ounce. I mean, these guys are just super lightweight, no pocket clip or anything like that. Just a handy dandy little work knife, and good for anything. Now, what I found interesting is I have the Uncle Henry version of it. This is the 5UH, and it basically is the newer model of it. This one here has the script on the tang, the Uncle Henry, and it'll be the 5UH. Same dimensions, same knife. This is newer manufacturer. But what I found was interesting is that as you know, Uncle Henry borrowed a lot of their designs from the old timer line. And so these, it said, first were introduced in 2003. So that means there's possibly some US made version of the 5UH, maybe. I don't know. That would be something for someone to search out. But 1 year production before, Schrade sold everything over to Taylor Brands, and then I don't know, Taylor Brands began manufacture in '05. So there may be 1 or 2 years of some manufacture of the Uncle Henry. But again, just a nice little one. It just kind of depends. Do you prefer the saw cut Delrin, or do you prefer this next gen Staglon, which is actually not too bad looking. So I kind of like how the Uncle Henry version is. I think it's a little bit slimmer also in the yeah, so it does feel slimmer in hand, so you're going to get the thicker Delrin or plastic with the old timer. So it kind of depends on what you like in a grip when you're gripping your knife. Now, of course, I did get the upgraded one. This is the OTH. So, and I had my finger on the lock because I was wiping the blade. There you go. There's a little snap for you. So this one is a fingerprint magnet. And this gives you the laminated wood, or the Paca wood, the new style old timer stamp, which was introduced on the Heritage series, I believe. And then this one here is D2. So you get the OTH, and this is really a great upgrade for your old timer. So I think these were going for, I think they're $35 to $40. So you're getting the same, great knife, but with an upgraded steel, and you get the pack of wood. So, if you like that, and then again, there is the generational series, which I do not have. That one is one that I do want to get, and that will have the 1095 carbon steel and a bone handle for that. So I'd like to get that, and eventually I'll get some vintage, a 5OT that was made in the U.S. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But those other two models will be in the future for sure. But I do have some slip joint options. Now I gave away the one that I had from Old Timer, but sometimes in their blister packs, and when they have certain packs of knives together, you'll get 2 or 3, usually a fixed blade in the case of these knives. This is the first gen Staglon, so you can see how much more yellow it is than the new is a lot more whiter. But this Uncle Henry is a slip joint, and it's kind of interesting because it has 2 show sides. So it has a shield on both sides. But the knife is basically a slip joint version of the number 5. So it's a little smaller, not quite the same belly on the blade, but for people where lockbacks are an issue, these knives are available. This one has a lanyard hole, but sometimes if you look into the Old Timer and Uncle Henry packs, they will have one of these knives. Like I said, they're slightly smaller. It's not exactly a 5 Bruin for sure, but it's something that's there. And I had this question come up when I was doing the brother review. Somebody asked me, is this knife about the size of a 5OT? And the answer is yes, it is. It's almost exactly the same size. Of course, that one, if you go back to my review, we'll just briefly go over, that it is VG10, and you have the micarta handle, and it is a slip joint, but it's certainly that same size of a knife. So although it's not in the family, either of the 2 slip joint alternatives, I thought they were close enough that they needed to be included in this video. And as you can see, I mean, these are just fantastic knives, very handy, and I think they're useful for day-to-day use, and they're perfect size for just about everything. Just a nice little medium-sized knife. Like I said, most of them are about just a little over 3.5 inches closed, which is just about as big as most people want to carry in their pocket. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little look at these knives, and that you would consider maybe looking at a Bruin in your collection or in your pocket. All right, guys. We will see you in the next one. Take it easy.